Okay, so hello everyone. Welcome to this live NPTEL session. So, wait. I have to schedule. Still the screen sharing. Okay, so hello everyone. Okay, so hello everyone. I'm Rohit presenting on the topic environmental. Wait a minute. Okay, so good afternoon everyone. Welcome to this live NPTEL session of environmental impact assessment. Wait a minute. Okay, so so good afternoon everyone. Welcome to this live NPTEL session of environmental impact assessment. This is live session 8 being conducted on 16th of March 2025. The course is taught by Professor Harshit Sosan Lakra. She is Assistant Professor in Department of Architecture and Planning, and I am Rohit. I am a PMR scholar at IIT Bombay. So I will be taking this live interaction session. Okay. The teaching methodology will be same. Okay. So the teaching methodology will remain same. We'll meet at every Sunday as usual, 3 to 5 p.m. and then we will have a discussion on the topic taught in weekly lectures. Also, we will have some doubt clearing session and interaction with the students. There will be, if there are any questions which you want to ask, feel free to ask your questions. So you can either ask the question directly in the session, or you can also uh, you can also raise the question in the forum also if you think these questions are very important. Okay, so others can also benefit. Okay, and you are always free to use the chat box and discussion forum to get your queries addressed. Okay, so apart from that, if there are anything else which you want to discuss, so please feel free to uh, discuss anything, carbon lecture questions or anything which you found interesting related to environmental impact assessment. Okay, let me see if there are anyone who has. Um, this is the this on the web. Uh, still in the meeting? Yes. Okay, so let's. If there are, okay, no one is in the meeting. Okay, no problem. So we'll start the meeting now. Okay. So we'll be having this live session teaching methodology, and Apart from that, so we'll be answering, solving this question one by one. And if there is anything which you want to ask, so please feel free to ask. Okay. So state true or false. Scoping and scoping out. Okay, with respect to climate change and EIA process mainly depends on the nation to nation based on their legislative provision. Okay. So is this a correct statement? So this is a correct statement. And basically, when you are talking about climate change, so basically, what is a climate change? Before that, you need to know what is a climate basically. So climate is basically what you say a long-term phenomena. Okay, it's not like a short-term phenomena. Okay, so any changes in the temperature, rainfall, humidity pattern, or complex weather patterns for a long time, like 30 years or 40 years, then you can say that yeah, climate change is happening, a change in climate. But if it is a short-term phenomena, then there is a weather change. So weather is basically a short-term phenomena, and similarly, the climate is basically a long-term phenomena. Okay, and basically, when we are talking about climate change, so then this we need to. I don't know why this is not getting open. Okay, let me run it directly from the YouTube. Then. So basically, there were conference of parties that, as I this uh, agreement. So basically, there were various agreement. Like when you were talking about this various aspects of climate change, so there were conference of party that we talked about in the uh, last lectures, also various lectures, and then we'll see these two videos. These two videos basically explain how this space climate change, what are the goals, how they are going to stop the climate change, what are the different targets that they have taken. Okay,
வீரம் கோயிலை
this was there, and basically they decided that now we have to reach an agreement, and then this climate Paris climate change agreement was actually drafted and ratified by many countries also. In fact, USA was the key member at the start. Then under Trump administration, they have actually backed out from this Paris climate agreement. So this was one of the best global effort, I will say. A lot of global effort towards conserving the environment. This is one of the best global effort, I will say. And basically, when we are talking about this scoping in and scoping out, so what does it actually mean? So scoping stage basically determines the study area, basically the impact area or the project defined area. Okay. Then we have survey methodologies, assessment methodology, level of significance, and key ecological issue to address. Okay, inclusion, exclusion based. So there are different things which you can go. Okay. Select the conference of party meeting by which India aims to reduce the carbon intensity of its economy by less than 45% until 2030. So this is COP26. Okay, now what is COP? So this is what the whole story of COP, Conference of Parties. Parties are basically countries. So there are various other parties also to this agreement. Like some of them are not independent countries, but they are. So there are a lot of countries, lot of parties, like various other organizations are also there. So at COP26 Conference of Party, Indian Prime Minister declared a five-fold strategy called Panchamrita. Okay. So first, so read this. This is very important and maybe asked in the exam also. So India will get its non-fossil energy capacity to 500 gigawatt by 2030. By non-fossil means solar, wind, other renewable sources. Okay. Basically clean energy also, that constitutes nuclear also. India will meet 50% of its energy requirement from renewable energy by 2030. That is also decided. Okay, India will reduce total projected carbon emission by 1 billion tons from now onwards 2030. Okay, so India has said that we have this much emission and we will reduce 1 billion tons now. Whatever we are emitting now, we will emit 1 billion ton less in 2030. By 2030, India will reduce the carbon intensity of its economy by less than 45%. So carbon intensity is very important. Carbon intensity means carbon emission per capita. Okay. By year 2070, India will achieve the target of net zero. Okay. By net zero means whatever we are emitting in the atmosphere, similar amount of carbon will be fixing it with different methods. Now, these are the five pledges which our Prime Minister made at the COP26, and basically, what is net zero? So, this is very important. So, read these two definitions of net zero and see if I will explain them actually. First, read them. Let's just see if there are anything. Uh, Read these. Okay, so is there anything which you understood what means net zero? No, no, no. Basically, I gave you time so that you understand. Search what is net zero. What do you mean by net zero? Okay, is it anything which? What does it mean? Whether net zero is for everything, every carbon, everything, or net zero is only for this thing, carbon emissions only, or nitrogen emissions also? Does it include all the air pollutants or everything? Okay, so basically, what so basically net zero basically refers to a balance of emission of greenhouse gases. Okay, so it constitutes of greenhouse gases. And what are greenhouse gases? That are basically CO2 emissions, CH4 emissions. All these constitute of a greenhouse gases. Okay, rather than there are a lot of emissions that you can count as a greenhouse gases, but like N2 emission also comes under the greenhouse gas that has a green weightage of 328 compared to carbon. So it's a very potent greenhouse gas. Okay, so net zero refers to a balance where green emission of greenhouse gases are offset by the absorption of an equivalent amount from the atmosphere. So whatever you are emitting, equivalent amount you are absorbing through CCS, through planting trees, everything. Okay. Experts see net zero targets as a critical measure to successfully tackle climate change and its devastating consequences. Okay. So China, Beijing announced no new pledges on Monday. It previously pledged net zero by 2060. United States, the US touted domestic legislation to spend dollar 50 555 billion to boost renewable power and electric vehicles. It had pledged net zero by 2050. India, the country economy will be carbon neutral by 2070. Okay, so this means net zero. These are the goals given by Prime Minister Modi. So, despite being 17% of the world population, our emission are only 5% of the total global world population. So, you can see per capita wise we are very low, but overall because we are a big country. But if we are going to reach the per capita level which US and European countries are uh, uh, emitting emissions, so that emitting greenhouse gases, that will be huge. So we are actually low. India is fourth in installed renewable energy capacity. Indian Railway to become net zero by 2030. So by 2030, Indian Railway will be net zero. Initiated the International Solar Alliance. So you can read about this International Solar Alliance. Oh, big alliance of tropical countries. Basically, India and France has initiated this concept of solar alliance, created coalition for disaster resilient infrastructure. What is the full form of UNFCCC? So basically, United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. So correct answer is A. Then what are nationally determined contributions? So under UNFCCC, so this video I will post the link here. And basically these are the charting the Paris climate change targets. Okay, to save all the cataclysmic effect of climate change, the world must keep global warming under 2 degrees Celsius. So this is what I was talking about. The climate pledge around that every country submitted so far would reduce emissions to hold warming to 3.5 degrees Celsius. Okay, so you can see we are here Paris climate change, and if it is if we are going to this uh, business as usual scenario, we are not changing anything, then this will happen. Okay, this. Okay, and if we are going with the climate pledge, whatever has been announced, so this will be happen. This will happen. Okay, and if we are going to restrict it below 2.2 degrees Celsius, so this is the projection. Okay, gigatons of CO2 equivalent. This should be the gigatons of CO2 equivalent. Okay. Paris climate change ratification. So mostly these countries have signed the agreement but not ratified. They have ratified and joined the agreement. And now this is not. Okay. The US is has not ratified it now. I think this is correct. US has ratified it, but this is out of actually left the Paris climate agreement. So this is a very important slide. Please spend some time on this slide. Okay, so did you find anything interesting? So you can see they have actually given we are here. So we are basically here. Let me show you. So we are here. You can see it here. 3.5 degrees Celsius if we are going by our policies, and if we are following the government pledges, then we can reach here. And with Paris climate change, if we follow our target, we can go by here, and if we follow it strictly, we can restrict it to global temperature rise to 1.5 degrees Celsius. And this has been the baseline. So basically from the baseline it has been decided. Okay, so what happens, see, the problem is what happens if we fail to reach our goals. So low lying areas like cities like a country named Tuvalu or something, and Mauritius, Maldives, all these countries will become inundated by floods. Okay, sea level will rise, species extinction will increase, more and more plants and animal with instinct become extinct. Food and water crisis will be there. Mortality rate will increase. Okay, more people will die. Equatorial regions become inhabitable. Also some disease, because climate is changing, so more and more disease, some diseases which are not known to humanity may come to happen. Economic losses will increase, and they have actually 2% of US GDP could be economic losses. And intended nationally determined contributions, so this I am skipping. This I will keep a video. Okay, these are the India's updated nationally determined contribution. So please see what India has made a pledge. Okay, so you saw India's nationally determined contribution. Like India has pledged climate action remain on track, so reduce carbon emission intensity by 30 to 35% by 2030 from 2005 level. Okay, to achieve 40% of power from renewable, to adapt climate change by enhancing investment in the development programs vulnerable to climate change, to mobilize domestic and new and additional funds for developed countries for mitigation and adaptation, to create an additional carbon sink of 2.5 to 3 billion tons of CO2 equivalent through additional forest and tree cover, to put forward and further propagate a healthy and sustainable way of living based on tradition and value conservation and moderation, to adopt a climate friendly and cleaner path than one followed by hitherto by others at corresponding level of economic development, to build capacities, creating domestic framework, international architecture for quick diffusion. Okay. Now match the given terms in group A by group B. Okay, so match it. Okay, basically high vulnerability is 2 when the receptor is directly dependent on the prevailing climatic factors, because when it will be changed then it will be a problem. Okay, limited variability. Q is basically 3 when receptor dependent on some climatic factor, okay, but able to tolerate a range of condition. Low vulnerability is climate factor का कोई influence नहीं है, little influence. So this is taken from this. Okay, now you can solve this also. Okay, so basically stability here is 2 state in which changes over time are within normal bounds of variation. Okay, the ability of an ecosystem to resist environmental change. Okay. Fragility sensitivity is basically ecosystem susceptibility to environmental pressures. Resilience recoverability is basically the ability of an ecosystem to absorb disturbance without crossing a threshold to a different state. Recreatability is basically potential for reestablishing an ecosystem richness and complexity similar to the ecosystem that has been destroyed. Okay, so this is basically ecosystem stability, negative feedbacks, inertia, all these things on which ecosystem works basically. Okay, so remember the definition, there can be question in the exams also. Okay, this is ecosystem resilience, this is ecosystem stable state, ecosystem degradation because loss of natural function is there. Okay, so similarly you have to look into everything when you are going to do something for the ecosystem. This is kind of ecosystem state, how this is high resistance, this is medium resistance. High resistance is, you can see even if you apply pressure there are no changes. This is medium, this is low, something like this. Okay, now this is definition, so look into this please. Okay. Before going to, I think, before going to solving assignment, let's discuss this EIA report. So I think it's a very big question. Additional contents. So I will go to the additional content. So this is a EIA report. Okay, this is from Ministry of Road. Okay, so let me see whether we can think. So let's see how it looks like. Okay, so are you guys able to? Hi Jyoti, good evening. So are you guys able to see this environmental impact assessment report? So this is from rehabilitation and upgradation to immediate lane of Paonta Sahib Rajmanch Shilai Minas Hatkoti road portion between kilometer 97 to 106 plus 120 Gumma to Fedi design road 94 plus 900 to 103 plus 550 of NH 707 in the state of Himachal Pradesh. So they have actually shown the report road also. Okay, project road. So this is the projected road. Okay, this is the state boundary they have shown. Everything is shown in the map. And who have prepared this report? Consulting Engineering Associates. Okay, in the Panchkula. So generally consultants prepare these EIA reports and then they pass through different stages. So there is how the projects are actually done in India. So there is a um, main agency, principal agency. Okay, so first let's say the government wants to build a road, but government doesn't has the expertise to build a road. So what they do, they have a specific PSUs or some boards or bodies that build a road. So generally, in case of Delhi, maybe NDMC wants to build a road. So there will be some Delhi Road Development Authority or PWD department, so that can build a road. So those will be nodal agencies. After nodal agencies, they will float a contract. Then they want to build a road. Then there will be study. So EIA study will be there. Now they also don't have the expertise to conduct the EIA study. So they will float a contract for EIA study, and they will select the best consultant agency who can do EIA for them. So then these consultant agencies prepare a EIA report and submit it to the nodal agency, which is PWD in this case. Then PWD will forward, then there will be recommendation by the agency itself, like this has to be done, this is to be done. Then it will submit it to the state or central environmental department or board depending on the screening of the project. So that is what we were taught in the screening, like project category A, project category B, project category B1, B2. Okay, like this. So we have to screen the report. Okay, whom we have to send the report, whether it will go to that central department or state boards or state PCB boards. Okay. Then after that, the state nodal environmental agency will pass the report or will pass. No, there will be some modification or mitigation measures which has to be taken. So that will be taken up by the agency. Okay, by the nodal agencies. The nodal agency, which is the nodal agency, that is in the case PWD department. Okay. Now this EIA report is worked upon, then this contract is awarded, and the working of the road will go on. Okay. So this is how the whole process goes on. It takes time, a lot of time. So this is the EIA report for a road construction in Himachal Pradesh. Now, these are the contents of the report. So they have included background, general importance of the project, study methodology, environmental assessment, structure of the report, then the various descriptions, then policy, legal, institutional framework, then baseline environmental status. So baseline environmental status is because you have read in the question in the slides also. Baseline, because we need to define a baseline from where we need to analyze our impacts. Okay, so we may say that impacts will be grown by 2x, but what is the baseline for that? Okay, so baseline environmental status has to be calculated. Now, baseline environmental status is like if there is something deterioration in the environment. So after 5 years, whether the environment will be deteriorated or whether it will be upgraded. See, let's say if in this area, like in this area, okay, so there are 1,000 trees. Okay, but in the past 5 years, we see a trend that number of trees are increasing year by year. So after 5 years, certainly there will be 1,200 or 1,400 trees. So that will become a baseline, not the 1,000 trees. So depend on that. It depends on that for which year the baseline is being taken. What is the percentage change or something? So that has to be considered. So everything, physical environment, that contains air, noise, water, land, everything. Then ecological resources, flora, protected areas, fauna, biodiversity. Okay, socio-cultural environment, demographic measures, socio-economic profile of the project affected people, agriculture, and public concentration. Then with this they propose alternatives. So they analyze, okay, EIA without EMP, EIA with EMP. Then they conclude like this is the thing, this you have to do. Then environmental impacts, okay, impact on soil, impact on water, impact on air, noise impact. Okay, these has to be studied. Then avoidance, mitigation, and enhancement measure. This is the thing which they suggest to do. So let's see. So they have made a EIA report. Okay, so they have given a general background about this. The Ministry of Road Transport, Government of India has taken a massive development work on national highway. This has to be built. What is the importance? Then they have included map also. The study methodology. This is the study methodology. They have to define the study methodology. Okay, structure, general description. So they have to classify the terrain also. How much is the rainfall, etc. Everything. Cross section. So let's pass all these things and directly go to impacts, measures, retaining wall. All these things are nonsense. So these are the impacts. Okay. So they have identified the impacts, environmental impacts. Okay. So they have identified like what are the negative impacts. So these are the negative impacts. Okay. Positive impacts, what will be the positive? So if there is any project, not only there will be negative impact, some positive impact will also be there. So yeah, proposed penetration is uh, positive impact, because when there is, whenever a road is built, so trees are planted on its side, so that is basically positive impact. There were no trees earlier, but now there is a row of trees on both sides of the road, so that is also a positive impact. Now, impacts on soil, loss of productive soil, soil erosion, construction stage, how much is the soil erosion, operation stage, compaction of soil, contamination of soil during construction stage, all these things have been. And not only thing, they have actually quantified it also. So this is actually done. Natural environment, impact on the roadside tree, impact on socio-cultural environment, impact on the safety and public health. So each and every now we have identified the impacts. Now we have to propose the avoid and how these impacts can be avoided. Like if trees are being cut down for building roads, then either we can shift the road. How can we avoid cutting of trees? Either we can shift the road. Okay, some alignments can be changed. Mitigation. Now we have to cut the tree anyway. There are nowhere we can shift the road or anything. And mitigation, plant 10 trees by cutting one tree. If you're cutting one tree, then plant 10 trees. Enhancement measures, what can be the enhancement measures? Like if there is a lot of air pollution, then put some devices that capture the dust and air pollution, all these things. Okay, so they are actually, see, they have provided the for soil control measures. So erosion, there will be erosion because of building of roads. So they have provided a suggestion that have a hedge bush layer. So these are the hedge bushes. Okay, bamboo net plantation. This is bamboo net plantation. And not only they have, actually they have to provide a length, number, everything. Hydro seeding is there. Rock anchoring, so the rock not fall off on the around, because after building a road on, generally on the mountains, the rocks become somewhat shaky or something, so they have to be bolted also. Now construction stage, soil contamination, how that has to be mitigated or adapted. See, everything, each and every suggestion is there. And if there are any stakeholders consent or stakeholders involvement, like if there is a village that has to be shifted, generally in case of dam, when you build a dam, so stakeholders there are villagers or something whose lands are getting submerged, so they also are part of these environmental impact assessment report. Okay, handling of petroleum products. So they have provided annexers also, like attendance seat of consultation at Anthroli and Gumma village. So there were two villages that were involved. So people were actually see the consultation, public stakeholder consultation meeting at attendance seat. So you can see the meeting. See, okay. So people have been there. They have been consulted for this. See, okay. So it is not like government just want to build a road, then they can build a road. No, people have to be consulted, sign on it. Girth-wise detail of trees, how much the diameter of trees, so everything. Environment management plan is also submitted along with EIA report. So this is a different report, environment management plan. Okay, so how this is the environment management compliance, everything. Environment clearance, consent to establish wildlife clearance, environment management plan. Okay, objective, compliance, penalty clause, non-conformance and corrective answers. Okay, international practices for consideration during EMP implementation, like the contractor while implementing the EMP will develop procedures to achieve the following, like minimum air emission from the construction activities to maintain better levels. Okay, minimize energy consumption in the construction sites, minimize wastewater generation at camp and construction sites, use of optimum natural resources. Everything is there. So everything has to be looked into. Okay, so this is how a detailed report. So it's a 207-page report, and everything is included. Okay, see, guidelines for silt fencing, oil interceptor, everything. See, if there are any suggestion, so it is not like only suggestion. The ways to implement them are also provided in this report. Okay, traffic management plan. See, so I think Slides. Slides were not visible or something. Oh, I actually all I have explained all the. Okay, don't worry. I will explain it again. So, otherwise, don't worry. This whole session is actually recorded, so it will be uploaded on the YouTube also. So you can go there and see the whole thing which I have explained. Otherwise, I will explain it again. So you must have got the idea. So I think uh, let's open it again. So now it is visible, my screen and these. It was not slides. It was the EIA report itself. So this is a EIA report. So is it visible? Yeah, uploaded with slides. So Dipali, the slides are actually uploaded. The videos are also uploaded and the links are shared with you guys. So I am sure you guys are getting the links for the video or something. So is it okay? Everybody is on the same page. Like, are you guys getting the live session recorded videos? Okay. So Varsha is saying, yeah, Anjali is saying your current discussion was without slide. So Dipali, it was not slide, it was a report itself. So it was a report itself. So I'm again explaining again. Don't worry, I will explain again. So don't worry about it. Okay. So this is the environmental impact report. So you guys said, "Ki sir, I want a case study for environmental impact report. How it is? How does a report look like?" So this is what I explained. So I will explain it again. Don't worry. So this is the project which has to be taken by state of Himachal Pradesh. This is the environmental impact assessment report. This is prepared by the consulting engineering associates, and the process which I explained how environmental impact assessment reports are prepared. So let's say government of Himachal Pradesh wants to build a road. Okay, so it doesn't have the expertise, so it will contact one of its agency, let's say Public Works Department, to build the road. Now, what Public Works Department will do? Uh, it will select the agency, consulting agency, or any agency to prepare a EIA report. So it will provide them with money. Then they say prepare a environmental impact assessment report for me. So these state of Himachal Pradesh, the Ministry of Road and Transport and Highways have actually selected Consulting Engineering Associates as their consulting agency for preparing of this EIA report. Now these EIA reports, these are the contents of EIA report which you can go through. If you, I have shared the slides also. So please guys go to and open the slides also. So otherwise, let me share the link here also. You guys also open this report. Open this report in your phone or in your laptop also. Okay. So you guys can also come up with me. So these are the contents of the report. It has everything which I was saying. It has, like, first thing is that they decide first they decide what is the background of this project. Okay. Second, they give every description of the project because that is necessary. They need to know the project. What is the project? I'm building a road, but which road? Are you building that road? Are you building this village road or anything? So a proper description is also there. How much is the length? What is the bus shelter number? Public places, everything. Then they go into policy, legal, institutional frameworks. Like if I am going to do a EIA, which law or which laws are applicable? Now this is the screening phase. Okay, screening and scoping phase. This is now whether I have to give submit the report for clearance to any other agency or not. Okay, so this is the screening and scoping phase. Then after that, after screening and scoping, in the lecture video, what you have learned, you have to identify the baseline impacts. Okay,
Like this is the baseline. If I am saying ki my pollution will increase by 200 units, what is the baseline? So you need to define the baseline. After 5 years, due to building this road, 10,000 trees will not be there. But from where 10,000 trees? If it is 10 crores trees are there on the road, so 10,000 trees is nothing. If there is only 12,000 trees and 10,000 trees are cut, then it is a big impact. So you need to select a baseline. Okay. So, okay. Then after public consultation, okay, then public consultation takes place. This is stakeholder participation, which you read in the EIA thing. Okay. Then we have analysis of alternatives. Okay, everything is there. This road is there. Can we have some alternatives? Can we have some of the, okay, so everything is there. Then you go to the environmental impacts. If we are building this report, what will be the environmental impacts? So they classify the impacts, impacts on physical environment, soil, water, air, everything. Then natural environment, then socio-cultural environment, which you read in the 3 or 4 lecture. Impact on safety and public health. Okay. So everything now, I think you guys can relate to whatever you have been taught in the weekly lectures. Then what was there after that? After impacts, what was there? Either you adapt with the impacts, either you mitigate the impacts, or either you enhance some of the features so that these impacts can be contained. Okay. So like what can be the avoidance? Like you are building a report, you are building a road. So there are a lot of trees. I gave three examples. There are a lot of trees there on that land. So how can you avoid cutting all those trees? So I will shift the direction of the road. I will pass it through some other uh, lands where trees are less. So this is avoidance. And mitigation. Now you don't have any land available. Everything is covered. Villages, agriculture is there. So you have to build a road along this land only. But there are trees. So you cut the trees, but you plant the trees again. That is mitigation. Enhancement. What you do? You raise the road height, or you make it underground. So no trees has to be cut. That is enhancement. Okay. So everything has to be. And then environmental management plan is also built. Everything. Then I show different examples, different thing, the impacts, how they are calculated, and if there are any impacts, they are not identifying the impact. They are calculating how much will be the impact. Okay, everything they are doing. They're giving the baseline scenario also, like baseline no, permissible limit also. Okay, so see, they are providing everything. And after that, there is a annexure where you saw the public consultation and everything. Let me show the public consultation sheet. Annexures. That was a very important sheet which I wanted to show you guys. चला गया. Hmm. So consultation program. Okay, the stakeholders involvement. In EIA thing, what you say? Stakeholder involvement. So this is how the consultation was. Typical issues like drainage problem will be there, road safety, bus stop. Okay, when people of the village were free. Now there is a road, then road safety is also issue. Then what are the people's views on that? Everything has to be considered. Loss of income, road safety, drainage, everything. Photographs. So this is how the. So let me first see. Are you guys able to see everything? So this is a very important exercise which we are doing today. I think okay, Dipali. So see, this is how photographs of the public consultation. So people say no, public consultation doesn't take place, but it does take place. In India, public consultation of EIA is mandatory to prepare the EIA report. See, so what they do, not every public is actually consulted. So some representatives from like like the village headman goes, some of the persons of ward, everything goes. A prominent person goes to there. Generally, it is open for everything, but generally these people go and have. If you have any issue, then you can. Okay. So at different locations also see the public consultation pictures and analysis of alternatives also. Environmental impacts, public consultation, there was sheet also. And it's not showing here. There was a sheet where name was also mentioned and everything. So this was how to mitigate everything. So this is hedge bush layer. So this is the hedge bush, and this is how they are planted on the side of the mountain so that erosion can be contained. This is bamboo net plantation. This is hydro seeding. Okay. So hydro seeding is basically seeds are actually inserted through water, spread through water. Rock anchoring. Okay, so a lot of landslide is there in the mountains when you build a road. So rock anchoring is also important. Soil contamination, everything has to be taken care of. So try to read this report. This is a very fantastic report on what we say next search attendance sheet. This is what I was saying. See, the public consultation and stakeholders meeting. So people have actually participated with contact details and they have signed the sheet. Yeah, I was there. Our problem has been raised. That doesn't mean your problem is solved. You have raised your problem. You have put your views. So that is actually put in the environmental report. And what are the mitigations of that is also placed in that. Okay. Girth wise details of trees, everything. Okay. So, is there any particular opinion in public consultation? Is there any particular opinion? So, yeah, generally, if you are affected by something, like it doesn't percentage. Is there any particular percentage opinion in public? I could not understand what you are asking, Dipali. But let's say like people are affected with something like there are road safety is what they are affected. So yeah, they may have a particular opinion about road safety, like I don't want this road. Many children play inside the villages, and they can get hit by the vehicles flying on the road. So yeah, they are actually allowed to build their particular opinion on that. Some of the time they are very much like not very sure of giving approval to build this road also. Acha, percentage opinion in public consultation. Total strength of people need to give opinion. See, uh, as per the how can I say? So if there is something like if you have a Gram Sabha type of thing, like village council type of thing. So decisions has to be there is written that in constitution or the article related to decision has to be taken by the Gram Sabha, but there is no quorum defined for that Gram Sabha. So if people come, let's say there are 500 people in the villages, but in the Gram Sabha only 50 people come. So yeah, I don't think a very quorum is defined, but yes, some of like it should not be like only 8 to 10 people participate on the, they have to show through different consultation angles also, like they have so they have shown, they have done various consultation, not only one point, and they said okay, every problem has been addressed or has been taken care of or has been noticed. So they have done 4 to 5 public consultation, and then so going to these public consultations, so there is no quorum defined. Okay, first thing. So if there is only 10 to 20 people, then also there mainly the important views are addressed or not. This is taken care of. Okay, so it doesn't matter ki you have 50 people or 500 people. The views like road safety, cutting of trees, pollution, everything has been noticed or been taken and to notice or not. This is more important. Okay, even if you have 1 or 2 people in the public consultation, but if they are presenting the issues properly, then it's okay. Okay, so I think you guys now have a good understanding about this EIA thing or EIA report or something which is prepared, how it is prepared. So this is good actually. You guys can relate yourself to these EIA reports or something. So now whatever the professor will teach, now you can connect to that. Okay, EIA report mein this thing was there. So yeah, this thing was there. Yeah, I got it. Something. Okay. So I think now we can move to the slides. So I have prepared a very long slide, and most of the time I spent on the EIA report only. So that is good actually. I think these type of discussions are actually important in the live interaction session. I thank you, Deepali, for bringing out this topic. I want you guys also to, if you want something like some discussion or something, so feel free to raise the question, so I can make that thing happen. This is for you guys. This live interaction session. This is not for me. Okay. So I want you guys to make your concepts very clear, like what EIA, how the report looks like, who does that, what is there in the EIA report, how do we mitigate, what is the meaning of mitigation, what is the meaning of adaptation. Okay, so let's solve some 4 to 5 questions, then we can have a break of 2 minutes. So it's not a break actually, I call it break, but it's like a discussion break. So you guys can go through and then again ask some question in the discussion break. So otherwise it will be very hectic for you guys to go on only teaching. It should not be like that. It should be like you raise your questions also and get your answers. So does EIA auditor require license to practice as consultant? So no, as of now there are no licenses to practice as a EIA auditor, but yeah, it doesn't mean that you will act as a EIA reporter. Let's say you want to be a EIA reporter and then day you are a EIA reporter auditor. It is not like that only. People gain experiences. So this EIA report is not by a single person who is termed as auditor. A lot of people work on this EIA report and prepare a report. Okay, so this consultant company may have 50 people working on this project and then they have prepared a report. Okay, so yeah, there is no requirement of license. You just have to join this consultant company. So you join as an associate, then you get promotion with experience, and then you get to a point where you are in charge of this project. Like this project is there, now you have to prepare the report. Some 40 50 people will work under you and you will guide them. Okay, this is environment impact, this is this impact. Okay, so company also does not require license, right? No, company doesn't require any license, but they may require some registration with the Ministry of Environment and Forest Affairs. Okay, no license. As of my knowledge, no license is needed. License Raj is over. Okay, it is not like they are going to open a restaurant where they need fire safety and food safety license. Okay, this is a service which they are providing. So service industry doesn't need any license. It is like a service which you are providing. So yeah, they may need registration with the like different registrations are necessary, but only register. Okay, so let's move to this. So okay, so first thing is that first question is true or false. So these questions are very easy. You just have to figure out and mark true or false. Scoping out with respect to climate change in EIA process mainly depend on the nation to nation based on their legislative provision. So this is a true statement. Every nation has their different aspects and different perspective of scoping in, scoping out, climate change, everything. So yeah, this is a true statement. So I put one of this Paris Agreement, which is one of the best example of nation to nation based views and legislative provision on the climate change. Because many nations have ratified it. Now USA, United States under Donald Trump has actually said that we are withdrawing from the Paris Agreement or something when he was the president. So this is how it works. So we will see this video before we need to study what is a scoping stage, how to determine it. So scoping basically is a study area, impact area, project affected area. So let's say that road was being, so this whole area is actually scoping stage. Okay, impact area. Survey methodologies also come under the how do we survey, like if you want to uh, count the trees, so how do we count the trees? Okay, you are you going to count each and every trees, or are you going to count a tree number of trees in a specific square meter area, then you can multiply it to get the tree in all the area. Okay, so this is how it is done. There can be various methodologies also. Assessment methodology, level of significance, whether one example which I gave, like if you are going to cut 1,000 trees, so let's say there are 1 crore trees, okay, and you are going to cut 1,000 trees only. Not significant. Okay, this is not significant. A very insignificant number. If there is 1 crore trees. Okay, 100,000, trees, and you are just going. But there, let's say only 5,000 trees are there. Now you are cutting 1,000 trees. Then significance is very much impacted. Okay, key ecological issues to address: inclusion, exclusion list, everything. Okay. So COP is basically conference of parties. So I made a very few slides on this also. Before that, let's see Paris Agreement. And before that, let's see if any questions are there. Okay, no questions. Let's see the Paris Agreement. It's a very good video actually. Yeah, this is full.